Having insane aim is undoubtedly the most desired skill in Valorant. Every player, whether it be Iron or Immortal, yearns to have godlike mechanics, and I'm not any different. That's exactly why in the past few weeks, I spent over 10 hours studying some of the best aimers in all of Pro Valorant, making notes breaking down their aim, movement, crosshair placement, and even unique traits that each of them have. In this video, I'm going to share the 3 different aiming styles I noticed while studying these pros, as well as what I'm doing to implement what I learned in-game. The first aiming style that I'm going to cover is used by the flashiest aimers in Valorant. These are the guys that have mastered the art of the initial flick and can compensate for a misplaced crosshair with pure speed. The 2 pro players that I've studied from this category are OXY and Florescent. But wait, did you notice how responsive the plays in these clips felt? A fast internet connection is especially helpful when using an aiming style based on speed. And thanks to the sponsor of this video, I actually have something that can help you with that. ExitLag is a software that uses state-of-the-art technology such as AI route optimization in order to allow you to have a seamless connection to the game. It works for over 2,000 different titles and has working servers all around the world. Using it is simple. All you need to do is create an account, install the software, and activate it. ExitLag's dynamic stabilizer and scalable infrastructure will do the rest. Okay, check this out, because all my friends told me ExitLag won't work if you have like Ethernet, or ExitLag won't do anything if you have good internet. But look, I'm turning ExitLag on, my ping actually drops. So, ExitLag, there is actually a real effect, and if you use wireless instead of an Ethernet cable, or if you have bad Wi-Fi, bad routing, I think this is actually a really good product, and there is a free trial. I forgot to mention, but ExitLag is currently offering 50% off, so you can use the QR code on screen or top link in the description in order to get ExitLag today. Now with that out of the way, let's get straight into the aiming style. The mouse control based style of mechanics is the type of aim your Instalock Reynas wish they had. Like I said at the start of this section, these players can compensate for suboptimal crosshair placement with their superior raw aim. I mean, just look at how OXY peaks this angle in a literal pro match. His crosshair placement isn't perfect and he doesn't expect his opponents to be where they are, but is able to get all 3 kills just because of his insane style. This is the type of clip that makes these aimers so fun to watch. These guys are snappy and crisp with it. I think that it's important to analyze this style of aim because most players that consider themselves mechanically dominant use a watered down version of this style of shooting whether they know it or not. First, I want to show some basic things to note with both OXY and Florescent that will transfer over to the subsequent aiming styles, and that is their rhythm. Both of these players demonstrate perfect gunfight rhythm. Let me just show you. In this clip, OXY doesn't burst too slowly or too quickly. He shoots at the ideal tempo. His time not shooting is minimized, his recoil is reset, and he's moving in between shots to make himself a harder target. Most players will either spray, or when they burst, they do it too slowly. Now obviously you should be bursting at your own speed, but learning how to improve your tempo is something that you can practice in the range even if you don't have insane raw aim. Learning how to burst faster isn't complex to train and it has a high return on investment. Just to give Florescent some love, here's a clip where she also demonstrates good rhythm. I know this is very basic stuff, but it's so underlooked by the majority of the player base that I had to include it in this video. Next up is a style specific point, but these players tend not to confirm their targets before shooting unless it's a long range fight. In these infamous floor clips, there isn't any micro adjustment and all of the work is done by the initial flick. And we see this in OXY's clips too. Now the reason for this is because of their confidence in their mouse control. Their raw aim is at the level where they can consistently hit their first shot, and if they do happen to miss, they can recover from it easily, even getting the kill within the same burst they initially missed. And even if they miss this first burst, I already showed you how quick they'd be able to shoot their second burst and secure the kill. Lastly, I want to bring attention to OXY's habit of using ADS more than most pros that I've studied, and there are a couple reasons to why he might do this. The first and most obvious reason is because ADSing makes the target bigger on your screen. This obviously makes the shot easier to hit. The second reason that 𝐁𝐮𝐬𝐢𝐧𝐞𝐬𝐬 actually talked about like 3 years ago is that ADSing improves your first bullet accuracy. So yeah, this is something cool that I noticed OXY doing and I started implementing it into my own games. I haven't noticed anything crazy, but I do feel more comfortable taking long range fights when holding ADS, so it doesn't really hurt to implement this into your own gameplay. The second aiming style that I discovered is what's often mistaken as calm aim. These guys are crosshair placement based aimers, and while they do tend to prioritize their first bullet accuracy and target confirmation, this is only made possible due to their remarkable crosshair placement, minimizing the effort and time needed to make their micro adjustments. The 2 I studied for this section are 𝐁𝐮𝐬𝐬 and Alexander. You see Alexander's clips in the background, and I want you to contrast them to what we saw in the first aiming style. I personally noticed that Alexander's tempo is slightly slower than OXY's, as he prioritizes resetting his recoil all the way down. And obviously, his crosshair placement is near perfect in every single clip. Most of his kills are simple micro adjustments and not wide flicks. Now, let's watch some Ye. Look at his movement in this clip. It's a masterclass. He's using good rhythm that I talked about with OXY and Florescent, but using it to strafe with his environment and throw off his enemy's aim. Ye's movement is unpredictable. This is another clip that we can observe good movement in. Alexander does something that I don't see often. He uses his strafe to help him micro adjust. These guys are absolutely incredible, and I'm going to go more in depth on how we can work on imitating them at the end of the video. Finally, the third aiming style. This isn't attainable for 99% of players, but it's inspiring and educational to analyze. These are the aimers who excel at both raw aim and crosshair placement. To put it into perspective how insane this is, in my Ko-Fi, I rank my supporters who are Diamond Plus from 1 to 3 in the categories on screen right now. 1 being subpar and 3 being extraordinary for a 400 RR Immortal player. If I were to rank pro players, most of their mechanics would be near perfect 3s, with maybe 1 or 2 categories out of 4. A 4 represents being world class on a different level than almost any other player, even in Radiant lobbies. Hybrid style aimers rank 4 in 3 or more categories. The player I studied from this category is Primi, although most of the players who were once considered to have the best mechanics in Valorant, such as Aspas or Demon 1, are also hybrid aimers. Alright, just to establish Primi as a hybrid style aimer and set our expectations for this section, let's just roll some clips. Here are some that prove that he can hang with OXY and Floor in terms of raw aim. As you can see, he's very gifted and can even generate some of the speed that Floor can, or maybe even faster. Now, as for crosshair placement, he has that too. I was actually inspired to start practicing my crosshair placement in custom matches when I first saw this clip last year. He is very clinical, on the same level as Ye or Alexander, and has the raw aim to do the things that OXY and Floor can. This might sound like next level glaze, but I challenge you to find a clip where Floor demonstrates this level of crosshair placement, or where Ye demonstrates this level of mouse control. I really think you'd struggle to do so. Anyways, Primi has this one habit with his mechanics that is really peculiar. When he holds an angle and gets swung, he doesn't move his crosshair. He tries his best to shoot his first shot or burst with pure click timing and no micro adjustment. I don't know about you, but to me this is so fucking wild. I mean, I think that this is something that could allow you to become very consistent if you mastered it, but if you've ever tried to practice this in a deathmatch, you'd know how hard it is. Like, this is actually some crazy stuff. So from studying all of these aiming styles and looking at my own mechanics, I realized that I leaned far closer to a raw mouse control based style. But in the end, I chose not to commit to it and decided to adopt a crosshair placement based aiming style instead. And I actually have a good reason for this. So for someone like me who has 600 to 700 hours in aim trainers, when I look at OXY and Florescent's gameplay, I honestly think that it would take me around 500 more hours to get anywhere near them in terms of raw aim. On the other hand, I think I can somewhat master crosshair placement in just around 100 hours of deliberate practice. Other than that, I think in the long run, bringing my crosshair placement up to the level of my raw aim will help create a balance in my mechanics. I'm hoping that eventually this will make it easier for me to transition into the hybrid aiming style I mentioned earlier. So here are my steps in how I'm perfecting my own aiming style. Every day, I'm going to watch and take notes on at least 1 to 2 videos featuring either Alexander, Prime, or Primi. These are the players that I think have phenomenal crosshair placement. I'll be in a custom game on random maps and practice peeking at various speeds and distances for around 20 minutes a day. I'll also make sure to practice peeking without making noise or using different movement techniques such as crouch peeking or jump spotting. And lastly, I'm going to play a lot of deathmatch. I'm already seeing a little results, but of course I'm having a dip in performance because I'm adopting a style that I'm not used to. Even though I'm losing more games, my headshot percentage is rising and I do feel like I'm getting closer to my goal of aiming like Ye. My next video is going to show you the results of 1 month of practicing and perfecting this aiming style. If that seems interesting to you, you can subscribe and turn on notifications. I won't spam your notifications and I'll only upload good videos. I also stream, so you can check that out, link in the description. Feel free to drop by and check out how my progress is going. There's some videos on the screen right now, bro. You can click them. Thank you so much for watching.